and welcome to Reed Pop's Metaverse event, where we're breaking the fourth wall to bring convention entertainment to the comfort of your home. I am Victor Dandridge, the hardest working man in comics, and it is my extreme pleasure to bring to you hip hop and emo rock. Think Nothing Nowhere. But before we get started, I want to make sure you, the fans, are getting the most out of this experience and the many others happening this weekend, scooping up exclusive virtual meet and greets, autographs, and photo ops. Please visit findthemetaverse.com and add the spoils of this virtual event to your collection. I am now a new fan, huge fan. It's kind of ridiculous. Joe, Nothing Nowhere. I have recently discovered you, and it has changed my life, literally. How are you doing today?
That was quite the intro. Changed your life. I'm very flattered. Very flattered. No, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Obviously, 2020 is the weirdest year ever. And, you know, it's kind of like insane with the things that are happening. So how are you maintaining your sanity and safety in the midst of all this?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm doing all right. I actually live up in Vermont, so things are a bit different here than the rest of the country.
Right.
Thankfully, I think we don't have many cases up here, but we're still staying safe. We're staying home, and I'm doing all right. I feel like things haven't changed much for me because I'm kind of a homebody as is. So I just
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, just been working on music, and I have new chickens, so I've been a chicken farmer.
I love it. See, sometimes you got to go back to the roots of taking care of yourself through the earth, and that makes sense. I mean, okay, so musically, it's hard to pin down genre for you. I mean, obviously, we've got the term emo rap. There's trap music. Hip hop as a total blanket. What do you say is the vibe for your music?
Yeah, that's a good question. I never really know how to answer that question because I just like to mess around. Like I started making music because it's fun, and I just like to have fun with music. I don't like to box myself in. So
I love that.
Usually as like a blanket statement, I'll just say, hey, like I make experimental music because we're experimenting.
Oh my God. I almost want to call it like soundtrack music, because I was listening to One Takes. Okay, so as a new feature, obviously seeing the YouTube stuff, but listening to the digital album, every song could be in a movie, like easily capture a scene, and to see it as like a remix even of some of your other works. That's so very cool. What made you go back to experimenting with those?
Yeah, I don't know. I think like I just wanted something to give, like, you know, my supporters and people who listen to my music. Like, you know, everyone's tied up at home, and it helps me too. Like, it was out of boredom, kind of, you know what I mean? Like, I got to do something, you know what I mean?
Right.
Otherwise, I'll be playing Call of Duty like all day, which is fine. But I gotta, like, you know, be creative in the process. So,
Of course,
yeah, I just
of
wanted
course.
something to give people in between albums and all that.
Oh my God, I love it. What are some of your musical inspirations? Who do you look to kind of refresh your well?
Man, yeah, in terms of like music, it varies day to day, but like kind of some of the staples I go back is kind of like, you know, Radiohead and The Cure, and just experimental artists who've come before me who kind of paved the way for a younger generation. I'm always looking for new music, and it's rad to hear something and be like, oh, why didn't I think of that? And kind of like coming at your own way.
Oh my God, I love it. Is there a prominent music scene in Vermont?
Yeah, there's a scene. It's not quite, it's not really what I do. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, people up here are just, you know, hardworking, it's kind of a rural area. So there's like kind of some heady jam bands. There's some folk music up here, but I came up through the internet, man. I still have yet to play a show in Vermont, which is the weirdest thing in the world. So hopefully that day comes whenever this is all done.
No, I totally understand that. Sometimes you got to get big outside of home before you come home with it. Like, home can be the hardest, you know, audience. I get that.
Yeah.
Okay, so talking about the internet movement when it comes to music, obviously as an independent creator, there's a lot of freedom there, but there's also a lot of responsibility. How do you manage that with what you put out and how people respond to it?
Yeah, I mean, I try not to get super caught up in like what people are saying about what I make, and I feel like that can be like just such a rabbit hole. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So I feel like, going back to, I'm a really I like to say quote unquote spiritual. I know it's thrown around, but I love reading old texts. I love reading like the Tao Te Ching. And there's this kind of passage in the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu that says do your work and step back. And that's kind of my philosophy, is just kind of I've done what I do with my art. I've let my emotions out into this piece, and we just let it fly into the world, and just whatever happens.
That just brought me peace right there. Like that. I mean that, man. Like that's amazing. Okay. So speaking of one takes, it obviously has the video component to it. How did you come to put all of that together as even a cool new experiment?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the whole thing kind of came about when I was playing guitar. I was just playing guitar, and I started kind of mouthing. I have this song called Hammer, and I was like,
Song.
this. Yeah, so I was like, this sounds a little weird, because it sounded very somber and stuff. And I was like, I think we might have done something here. So I'm really into doing film and all that. So I just kind of set up my camera, ripped the first one, and there's people seem to be into it, and they seem to be wanting more of it. So I was like, all right, we'll feed the fire. Just kept
Thank you
going.
for it. Thank you for it. Literally, on a personal note, this is dead serious. My oldest son, he'll be 18 soon. So musically, we don't quite vibe,
Mm-hmm.
but I think your album will be something that we can kind of connect on, because while he's not as big of a fan of hip hop, I think what you are offering speaks to him, number one, and two is something that is a great bridge. And I think that's something that your music carries along with it. What would you describe as your key fan? Like who is your fan? What's the age range? Any of that?
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly have no idea. I distinctly remember before I went on my first tour, obviously really nervous, because it's, touring and playing in front of people is really scary and stuff. And I was like,
Of course.
who I get to see who listens to my music, because, it's an ambiguous thing if you're making music on the internet. So what I learned from that first tour and all the tours since is kind of, there is no singular nothing nowhere fan. I've met, your typical younger kids, like some goth kids, some skater kids. And
Of
then I've
course.
met, 50-year-old accountants who come make it out to shows, and they're like, hey, you know what? I really connect with this. So it's been a really cool experience to try and figure out, who my music is making it to, and hear these stories from them and say, hey, your music kind of helped me through some hard times. It's like, that's really special. So
Yeah, yeah.
there's a wide variety.
I love it. I love it. Now, aside from the music, what other creative interests do you have? Are you an avid storyteller in other mediums?
Yeah, I went to film school. I've been doing film for a while, and thankfully, at this point in my career, I can shoot my own music videos. So that's kind of a double way of expressing myself. And my film degree isn't completely worthless. Um, so my dad will be happy to hear that. And yeah, I just, yeah, whatever gets me in the creative space, I like drawing. I like skateboarding is a way to express myself.
Of course.
Just anything, honestly.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Now, you've won some awards for your film work, right?
Yeah, back in the day for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
can
was
you
that was a
tell us some
crazy
things that
time.
we should look for? I mean, like I said, I'm a brand new fan, so I want to ingest everything.
Yeah. No, yeah. So I used to be really into going to film festivals and doing every film festival, they have kind of 24-hour film competition, or you do a film slam where you have to make a film in a week. And
Hmm.
I did competitions like those kind of throughout the New England area. And I also went to the Cannes Film Festival over in southern France.
That's
And
amazing.
took home some cool awards there, and that was kind of a cool little pep in my step. Um, so yeah, we're still rocking and still filming music videos, and I'm obsessed with film.
I love it, man. That's so cool to be so versatile, and to really kind of present yourself through this. Have you had any great, personal experiences with the fans that you've met? Anything that you can share?
Yeah, I think it's really the stories more than anything. Like, after every set that I play, I like to just go out to the merch booth and just say what's up to whoever's coming through. And there's just some really, really gnarly stories. I've had people come with some serious ailments, some people
Right.
who, with whether it's, cerebral palsy or something, heavy like that. And they come, and they're like, I have trouble walking, or my body's failing me, but this music really helps me keep going. And I have these real raw, visceral moments where I'm like, this started as a guitar and me in my room, just as a way for me to just, scream into a microphone, but it's become something more special and more poignant at this point. So I have these kind of memories with these just people all over the world that are really special to me.
Dude, that's beautiful, like really beautiful. And I think that's one of those things where, when art gives purpose, not only to yourself, but to other people, that is the true definition. And it's great that you have found this. You did kind of talk about playing Call of Duty. Is that like your game du jour, or like what's your hardcore gaming, what's your piece? What do you do?
Yeah. I mean, I am quite a gamer,
Okay.
as the kids would say.
Are we talking PC
Yeah,
or console?
I actually moved to PC, so I feel kind of legit now. Yeah, I feel
Okay,
kind of
okay.
legit. Yeah, I had my friend build me a PC rather, because I don't know, I was a Mac guy forever and
Okay.
I had no idea what I was doing. But yeah, I bought a PC, started streaming on Twitch, and I do love Call of Duty because since the Modern Warfare 2 days,
Hmm.
I've been a first-person shooter guy, but I also have a very soft spot for classics like kind of like Elder Scrolls, like Oblivion.
Oh,
I am
okay, okay.
obsessed with that. For some reason, I'm still playing Oblivion in 2020. It's
There's
just
nothing
so
wrong with
good.
that. Listen,
Yeah,
good games never die, okay? Like that's the way, right?
facts,
Um
facts.
because that's important for people to know, is that there's nothing wrong with going backwards and really just appreciating what you like. Like that's it.
Yep.
So okay, moving forward, obviously 2020 is weird. We don't know, what sort of scheduled things we'll have, but what sort of events were on the horizon for you that hopefully maybe late this year or 2021 we can look forward to?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just finishing up an album, so that's really exciting. I think this week we kind of put the nail in the coffin and finished it. Um, so that's something I'm really looking forward to. When it comes out, who knows?
Right.
But it's been a blast, and whenever we get back to the touring, that'll be awesome. I'm not. We're obviously not going to rush into anything. We're just playing it by ear, and we're waiting
Of
till the
course.
whole world calms down. But
That's so
yeah,
real.
I'm just happy to be making music, man. That's it.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so when it comes to the production side of your music, you're vertically integrated. I mean, you're doing everything from the actual music to the lyrics to performing. Like, how do you manage what each sound is supposed to be, and really get into it? Is it just something you feel, or is there a technical aspect of it?
Yeah, I just think it's kind of like what you create and what comes out of you, whether it's in the form of a guitar riff or a lyric or something. It's just your essence. It's waiting to get out of you. I don't know how it does. I don't know how it transmits and it turns into an idea and somehow you find yourself creating a song. I don't know how that
Right.
happens. But yeah, it just happens, and I'm really grateful to have that ability, gift, whatever you want to call it. I just love making sounds and creating them into songs. It's a really special
That's
process.
awesome. Do you have a favorite component of it? Is it more the producing or the songwriting? Which one do you like most?
I like writing lyrics. Yeah,
Okay.
I like because it's like you get to write poems and then you get to sing them, and it's
Right.
just a really cathartic, important process for me to keep a level head for sure.
I love that. So, okay, so talk about the process of going from releasing stuff on SoundCloud to being signed by Fuel by Ramen. Like that's got to be a process unto itself.
Oh yeah, it's come a long way for me in my parents' basement. Just cranking out songs and posting them. It's been crazy. At this point, we've toured the world and we've done multiple actual studio albums. I think for me, it's just just keeping sane and doing the same thing that I did from when I was younger. You know what I mean? Just trusting my intuition and doing what I did in that basement, not really overthinking it. You know what I mean? And, you know, labels can be involved, you know, music industry can be involved, but at the end of the day, it's just trust your gut, you know?
I love that. That's great advice for anyone that's listening in that's a musician or really any sort of art practitioner. Do you have any specific, you know, advice that you would give to young musicians out there?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, it's just trust your instincts over everything. If you're an artist and you're a creator, you know what's best for you, and your art is a reflection of your inner self and what you want out into the world. And you know, as things progress and you start working with other people are going to have opinions, you know, and it just comes down to trusting your intuition and being yourself. Never create art for someone else. Just do it for you.
Dude, that's powerful. I 100% agree with that. I can't wait to see more things from you. Obviously you have plenty of other skill sets. Any plans to, you know, maybe get back into film and or use drawings? I don't know, make comic books or anything like that? Is that in your future?
We have some stuff on the horizon. We actually just kind of started mapping out a little zine.
Okay.
And some other cool stuff in the works. I'm just going to keep chilling here in the woods, creating and throwing it into the world and see what happens.
Oh my God, we are so ready for that. I appreciate your time, your energy. You're absolutely right. You're a spiritual guy, and I feel the positivity even coming through the screen right now, and it brings me joy. Like real talk. Joe,
likewise, thanks.
Thank you very, very much for sharing with us. I truly appreciate it. I want to give a shout out to Reed Pop for bringing us together. They have been a fantastic host throughout this whole weekend. Please, again, make sure you visit findthemetaverse.com for exclusives. I am Victor Dandridge, the hardest working man in comics, saying thank you to all the fans watching. Joe, one more time, thank you very, very much. If there's one more thing that you want to share before we get out of here, the fans are listening.
I just keep going. Keep going.
That's awesome. Dude, thank you so much again, and you have a great weekend.
Thanks, you too.